I joined the organization as the executive director 3 years ago now. And my experience as an entrepreneur actually has been a long time. I'm actually an entrepreneur in my own right. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 15, starting my own graphic design business that we still own today. And so entrepreneurship has been a part of my journey. It's always been a passion of mine. My initial plan was I was going to college to get my degree to become a bank president, but somehow found myself leaving banking and ended up in the nonprofit sector. And now I'm being able to lead a community development organization that focuses on both place-based development, physical development, but also economic development. It really brings all of my passions into one space and allow me to work utilizing my various talents and abilities.
Great. And I know you said you joined the Commons later on, but if you're able to answer this question, why coffee and a laundromat? Why the combination of the two? What kind of led to that being the staple of the Commons, and why do you think it has been as successful as it's been?
Yeah. So it really was the needs and the desires of the community. The community said that they wanted a place to do laundry and a place to grab a cup of coffee and maybe a nice cafe sandwich. And so we built the space utilizing direct feedback from the neighbors. We did targeted community engagement that lasted just about a year and a half. And then we began to actually develop the space. And I believe because of that, that's why it's successful, because we involved and included the community, that we listened to them first and then acted. That's why we found sustainability and success here in the community. We are one of the first new businesses on the MAC corridor in over 25 years. And so that alone shows how innovative and out of the box we were in the thinking. But again, our sustainability this year, we celebrate 5 years of being open. And so being able to continue is because we listen to the customers, our community, and as a result, they're now continuing to support, they're spreading the word, they're utilizing the space. Today was probably a very, very busy day for us with laundry and cafe customers in the building literally all day. We just closed at 7 o'clock.
How was that research process done? Was this literally like a door to door? You're asking people in person, you're asking your friends and your family that live in the area, or was there like a survey? How did you guys go about determining this need in the community?
Yeah, so it was all the above. We held focus groups with residents, inviting them into what was then the uninhabited, undeveloped building to see the space. We also did door-to-door canvassing, asking residents to reply to our survey. And then we also did phone banking or phone canvassing, talking to residents. And then we utilized an electronic survey that was emailed out to residents as well. So we used essentially a four-pronged approach to engage the community to gather the feedback.
Okay, great. Now moving into the actual business of the Commons. So from our understanding, it's a laundromat in combination with a coffee shop. Those are the main two products that you guys offer. Is there anything else that the Commons offers, or is that kind of the main combination?
That is the main combination. So we are called the Commons Coffee Bar and Coin Laundry. We do offer some handcrafted sandwiches and some grab and go drinks as well as pastries. But yes, it's predominantly coffee and laundry.
And how often do your customers utilize both the laundromat and the coffee shop? Do you find your customers using both, or do some prefer one or the other?
Yeah, so I would say about 60% of our customers utilize the laundry, and the 40% utilize the coffee bar. In terms of those who use both, typically in to do laundry, we give you a free cup of coffee. So we're kind of trying to woo you over to the coffee bar while you're doing your laundry.
Okay, great. And in our class so far, Urban Entrepreneurship, we've talked a lot about the business model, and a big part of that are customer segments, types of people that are drawn specifically to what a certain business offers. From your experience working at the Commons and within your community, what would you say are the main customer segments that the Commons really appeals to?
Yeah, so the Commons really appeals to those residents who do not have in-home washer or dryer or laundry equipment. We are in a community where there's concentrated poverty. We're in a community where there are a large number of apartment buildings, and so sometimes accessing the laundry room in those buildings becomes a little bit more challenging. But then we're also in a community where there are ALICE households, asset limited income constrained yet employed persons. And so our segment of customers who utilize the Commons more often, I would say probably easily 75% of our customers represent the ALICE households in our community.
Okay, great. This may be straightforward, but how does the customer purchase the product, specifically the laundromat? Is it your traditional coin-based laundry and washer and dryer machines? Is that how it works?
That's correct. We also offer drop-off laundry service where they can drop off laundry, pay for it over the counter. We will wash, dry, and fold, and they can pick up. But predominantly it is the traditional coin.
Okay, great. Just wanted to confirm that. Now moving on to your, I guess, customer relationships. You talked a lot how this is a community-based business and organization. How do you guys strive to keep your current customers satisfied and get repeat business while also trying to branch out and acquire new customers in the area?
Yeah, so one of the ways we try to keep our current customers satisfied is by continuing the products and services that they enjoy. So we're consistently looking at our sales data, seeing what items are selling, looking at our customers who come in who are paying with electronic payment, or those who sign up for our I forget the card now. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind that quick. But we have a return customer card that they can get, a punch card, I'm sorry. And so we do that to retain our current customers, but we're also always looking at our menu to see what new items we can offer to attract some new customers in. Each season we offer a new menu, so we'll have our fall menu coming out in just a few days here, hoping to certainly entice our current clientele or customer base to continue coming, but also to attract some new ones. Hence why we introduced the drop-off laundry, because that was a service we learned through surveying that many of our residents said that they would enjoy, because some of them are challenged by transportation, and sometimes they're also time constrained.
Got it. And as we've had this conversation, I think it's pretty obvious that the business, the Commons, has two aspects that may not, a lot of people don't think interact with each other very often, although you guys have made a great success of it. So do you almost have to treat that like two separate entities, although it's under one kind of name, the Commons? Do you have to kind of break that down into the two aspects that you guys offer and look at them independently as far as how to grow the customer base, how to keep customers happy? I know you touched on those things, but I guess how often do you view those two things together, and how often do you view them as separate business entities to focus on?
Yeah, we do. I would say we view them as separate entities at about 60% of the time. Okay. Specifically because the margins on the laundry side are certainly higher than that on the coffee side, because there are these additional costs of running the coffee bar. You have the staffing, etc. The coin laundry really is a cash cow. It's just an opportunity for people to come in and do their laundry. It requires very low maintenance and very few staff members to operate that portion. And so as we're marketing the commons, we oftentimes will have, some of our marketing that targets the laundry customers. I would say at least about 60% of the time, and then the other 40% is targeting the coffee bar, again, because going to get a cup of coffee is considered a leisure or a luxury purchase. It's not necessarily considered a need. When you look at laundry is actually meeting a need. People need clean clothes. So we do look at them separately often in our marketing, in our storytelling, and certainly in our outreach to customers.
Got it. Okay. As far as customer feedback, I know we talked earlier about identifying and addressing a community need, and you said you did that in a multitude of ways, whether that's in-person interaction, sending out surveys. As far as customer feedback for the products that you offer, do you go about that in a similar way, taking multiple avenues to kind of understand how your customers are feeling about your products?
We do. So we certainly encourage customers to leave reviews on Yelp and Google. We have in-store surveys that'll be presented on the counter, and complete this survey for a free cup of coffee or a $2 off discount on your sandwich. We do, as we look at the varying coffee brands that we carry, we do have what we call a coffee tasting, which is essentially just a focus group that will consist of about 10 to 15 residents from the community who come in and sample the varying coffees, and then we'll carry that brand. We recently did that about 6 months ago now, and that's now why we carry Floss House brand coffee, which is a local proprietor, African-American, minority-led company. And that was based on the customer feedback. This is what they enjoyed and this is what they liked. So we still utilize those same angles. And then, I always say, we look at those sales reports. If it's selling, we're going to keep it going. But yeah, that's primarily our goal and how we do it.
Okay, great. And I'm curious to learn a bit more about the aesthetic of the coffee shop portion of the Commons. I love going to coffee shops. I think it's a great place to study, hang out with friends, and I think half of the reason I choose to go to the coffee shops that I do go to is because of the aesthetic, whether that's the sound, the artwork on the wall, even the lighting. How do you guys value your aesthetic? And I guess going back to the customer research question, how do your customers respond to your aesthetic?
Yeah, so our location has a great deal of natural lighting, and so residents enjoy that. Many of them, again, are living in apartment complexes or, quite frankly, in communities that are not always the most aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And so when they come to the Commons, they're walking into a space that's very well lit. It's a warm, inviting space. You have the aroma of coffee beans and the aroma of laundry that mixes together, and just really, it does a deal on your nose. It's a wonderful moment, which makes you feel like you're at home, but yet you're not. At the same time, we have our music going. That's typically some Motown classics, giving people that feel of the rich history of this community that we serve, and in which we're located in. And then finally, we have our second floor that offers co-working space for residents to, once they've gotten their coffee, their sandwich, or if they're doing laundry, they can throw things in the dryer and go upstairs and do work. And so again, it has a lot of natural lighting, open space, bright, vibrant colors. All of that was designed intentionally using the feedback of the residents. We have local artists who provide us with their drawings or paintings that we hang on the wall, and literally you can buy them directly off the wall by scanning the QR code. And so it gives that local flair and feel to the space also. So all of that was intentionally done or is intentionally done based on the feedback that residents gave to us.
Great. So, got it. A big part of the character of the Commons is Detroit-based, local Detroit artists. They contribute to the aesthetic. That's great. Now, continuing on with that kind of local connection, you mentioned the coffee suppliers from the Motown Coffee. Do you have any other key partners, whether that's for like the laundry portion or the coffee shop portion, that are based in Detroit? And if not, where are they from, and how did you develop those connections?
Yeah, so we source 85% of our goods for the cafe portion right for entrepreneurs. So we have Flavorful Creations that provides our pastries. They are local, minority led. We have our breads for our sandwiches. We source that from Milano Bakery, which is located in Detroit. We source our drinks from the Coca-Cola bottling company here in Detroit. Fago products we carry, which is also here in Detroit. We have Pepsi coming in. We haven't officially stocked them yet, but they're coming in again right up the street on Mac here in Detroit. So we are intentional about empowering local entrepreneurs, food-based entrepreneurs, by carrying their products. Many of our grab-and-go drinks are actually locally sourced as well. We have a brand called Nikki's Ginger Tea, which is brewed right here in our community. Most of our dry teas are sourced locally as well from entrepreneurs.
Great. So it sounds like the Commons, Detroit flows in and out of the business. It's determined by the business. That's great. That's exactly what we're looking for, and it's kind of a core tenet of this class. Okay, now moving it back to the business side. You said the maintenance for the laundromat portion was low. I was wondering, just like, what are the main costs, expenses for the Commons, either side?
Yeah, so the main costs certainly are the utilities for the laundry. We have our our gas, dryers, the electrical bill, the water, for the machines. Then there is the maintenance cost of managing those machines. We have 16 washers and 16 dryers, so we need to manage that. And so on the laundry side, you're talking maybe $25,000 to $30,000 a year to manage that portion. On the food-based side, the cafe, you're talking about easily $50,000 to $60,000 to manage that side, because we have barista staff who are actually making the drinks and sandwiches. The cost of food, my lord, is up because of inflation, and so we're always looking at how to curb our cost of goods sold, and trying to keep a fair balance. We set our prices based on the community's needs, not necessarily to drive profitability, because all of the profits that are made are reinvested into the nonprofit arm. So we're really not trying to, we're not trying to make $1 million like a Starbucks store, as much as we are trying to just provide the need and to be able to cover our costs.
Got it. I was curious about some of the key resources of the Commons. So obviously you mentioned the washer and dryer machine and the laundromat portion. I would assume that you guys have coffee makers, as far as like the machines, maybe certain food tools like a toaster or a grill. Are there any other forms of equipment that you guys have that are key to running your business, as well as intellectual property such as copyright, trademark perhaps with like the logo or the name?
Yeah, so our logo and name are trademark, copyrighted. We do have, in terms of equipment, our refrigeration units for our food. We have a freezer. We also serve ice cream there, so we have our freezers on the coffee bar side. We do have, the espresso machines. We have all of the names are going to slip me right now, but we have all of the various machines needed to make lattes, and we make our own almond milk in the store. So we have all of that. We certainly do have the toaster ovens. I'm hoping to acquire some funding to actually get us a more high-powered one to be able to expedite our customer service experience. And then, as you've already stated, on the laundry side, there's the dryers, the washers, and the dryers. And then we have our POS system that we utilize as well.
Got it. And obviously, recently there's been a lot of technological innovations, such as like AI. You even look back to like the 2010s, the huge developments in mobile phones, computers. Are there any of these recent technological innovations that have impacted the commons, and if so, how do you guys utilize those innovations?
Yeah, so for a lot of our marketing, because we are a small business, we are a social enterprise. For a lot of our marketing, we're utilizing Chat GPT, some of the AI technology to generate some of our marketing material and verbiage to use for social media. We're utilizing a great deal of long-term planning and implementation of our social media marketing. We have begun offering, mobile pay, whether it be Apple, Google, etc., giving our customers more flexibility as more and more people, become cashless. We're trying to meet that need by having the opportunity for them to pay without having cash in their hands. When we think about the technological advances, we recently moved from kind of like the poster board menus to now we actually have televisions hung on the wall or the screens on the wall that display our menus. And that was like, it was huge for our neighbors when they saw it. They were seeing it flip or whatever. They were just excited to see that level of technology being used. So even in saying all of that, there's a lot more that we could be doing with technology, but because of our small team, because of the sometimes necessary investment, whether it be in manpower or equipment, we're not able to do it yet. But we're certainly looking at technology, and it's certainly impacting our business every single day.
Great. And just an extension question off of that, Mr. Jackson, you seem like a fairly young guy. I'm sure you keep up with these trends pretty well. But how do you guys become aware of what's changing from the marketing, technological, cultural standpoints of not only your community, but like greater surrounding areas? So how do you guys become aware of these things? And then, like, you already talked about how you apply it to the business, but like, how do you become aware that these things exist?
Yeah, man. So, personally, as the executive director of MAC, I've been, I'm a business major. So I believe in reading the periodicals, and I'm always reading something to stay abreast on that. But as an organization and as the Commons, we are a member of several different business associations and groups. And so as they are finding out about the various advances in technology and industry standards changing, information, et cetera, they are getting that information to us through, email blasts, through monthly meetings. And so we're then taking it and implementing it into our role or into our business. And we're engaging our barista staff by offering these different learning opportunities for them to certainly grow and develop in their skill sets, to the benefit of the commons, but also to their own personal development. So we're utilizing memberships and associations to our benefit.
Got it. Great. Now moving on to competition. I know you guys said, unlike Starbucks, you're not 100% profit driven. You very much exist to benefit the community, address a need. But when customers don't go to the commons, how do they address their need, whether that's primarily laundry services or getting a cup of coffee? Are there other businesses around you that have a similar vision to you that exist? And if so, how does that impact your business?
Yeah, so in our community, we are place-based, and we're specific to 484 in terms of our mission as an organization. But the Commons oversees customers who come from as far as Ann Arbor to do laundry and just sit there and work. But there are other coffee shops in that community, as well as other laundromats in that community. And so when they're not coming to the Commons, we know that many of them are going to a Red Hook or Sister Pie, which are neighboring cafe, pastry shops. We know many of them are going to the larger, more commercial laundromats in the community. But what many of them, when they come to us, they always say is, hey, it's clean here, it's nice, it's always welcoming. And so we know that that's our competitive advantage to those others in the space. And then, finally, our prices, whether it be for our sandwiches, whether it be for our lattes or for our laundry, our pricing is very competitive on all of those fronts. And so while we do know they go other places for a number of reasons, right? Again, we're on Mack Avenue. We're in a densely populated community. And so therefore, sometimes it's just easier to go up the street to the larger, not as clean, not as friendly laundromat than it is to come to us because of transportation challenges. But we do know they're going to the other locations. We're trying to work on doing better with telling our story. This is actually helping me to articulate it out loud. So if you all don't mind sharing that recording back with me, because part of it is how we tell our story, that when you buy a cup of coffee at the laundromat, you're also helping a kid get free tutoring. That when you come in and do your laundry, you're helping a student participate in sports and recreation in their community free of charge. Like being able to connect those dots for people.
We totally will spread the message, Mr. Jackson. What you guys are doing is remarkable and very unique. And the fact that it's community driven and community based is amazing morally and ethically. And we're happy to help out however we can. Just to finish up here, a couple broad questions for you.
Sure.
What are some key challenges that you find the Commons currently faces?
At the top of the list is hiring. The job market is bananas right now, and specifically in the food service industry, where you have individuals who are demanding, $18+ an hour, in part-time roles as baristas. And so, as a community social enterprise, not necessarily for profit, that becomes challenging for us to attract and retain staff because we can't pay that high wage. Secondly, again, is the cost of goods sold. Like, we have a major issue with the rising cost of food. As I said, inflation is just absolutely heartbreaker for us as we continue to try to create a menu that will be enticing to customers while trying to keep the cost low. And then thirdly, I think the challenge of marketing. So, with all of the competition that's out there, with the limited financial resources, being able to market our business in such a way that we can again attract customers is challenging. And so we're always looking for some creative ways to do that. I am a graphic designer by trade, and so a lot of my skill sets are being pulled on to utilize or to create, our graphics, because I cannot, we in many instances can't hire somebody to do that work. So top three definitely are hiring, I'll just say attracting and retaining quality staff. Second is the cost of goods sold, and thirdly, marketing.
Got it. Great. Thanks for lining those out for us. Moving over to opportunities. What are some key opportunities, either now in the short term or in the long term, for the Commons?
Yeah, so we're seeing an influx in residents moving into the community, and so that's a great opportunity for us to create our every door direct mailers and sending them to these new residents in the community, letting them know about us immediately. At the same time, there are opportunities as these new families are moving in. Many of them have children who are participating in sports and recreation, and they need a place where they can get their uniforms cleaned. And so by offering our drop-off laundry service, it creates this, turnkey experience for those families to be able to still do what they need to do and get this quality service done that they need. Another opportunity that's there for us is through our nonprofit side. We're engaging in partnerships with our local schools in the community. And there are approximately 8 of them in our immediate footprint. And so this partnership will allow us to engage with those teachers by becoming their premier provider of coffee for their meetings, coffee and pastries, providing an opportunity for their sports and recreation team or whatever else that they need laundered in terms of laundry services they can utilize us for that. And again, employing the drop-off laundry as the opportunity to meet that need for them. So I think those would probably be the most or the largest opportunities that we have right now.
Great. And what are some things that you think we could help you with? The Urban Entrepreneurship Practicum, a big part of it is connecting with a local urban-focused business and helping them out. How do you see the UEP helping and providing a hand with the Commons?
Yeah. So I certainly think, if there was a way to help us with our marketing assets and a 6 to 12 month marketing plan that we could, that was turnkey for us to implement, including like creating us some social media assets and messaging that we could apply, developing a social media calendar for us that literally all we got to do is plug and play. That would definitely be a help. I think the second thing would be like a market study, to understand. We know we're unique because we're in a community where there is concentrated poverty, that there is, we are in a very diverse community also, right? Because we have one portion of our zip code that is affluent, like, the aristocratic leaders of our city and government live there. And then in the other portion, there are people who are just barely making it or maybe even squatting in a home. And so being able to do a market study for us as to the residents who live in that community and how we might be better able to tailor our marketing to each one of those groups, if that makes sense. But I think if I just say one, it would be the first one, which is helping us with the marketing piece.
No, we're excited to help you out in every way we can, and we want to address every single one of those concerns, and help out however, in whatever capacity we can and however we're needed. Before we leave, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you would like to add?
One thing I'll just say, and I didn't start off here, so please forgive me. So MAC Development is a Christian Community Development Corporation. And so I appreciate you saying, like, morally and ethically the work that we do. And it is rooted in our Christian faith and beliefs. That doesn't mean that anyone who comes to the Commons or utilizes our services on the nonprofit side have to believe as we do. But we do utilize our faith beliefs to drive us to the actions that we're doing. And so in our storytelling, we want to always make sure we're adding that piece to let people know that's a thread that ties it all together for us. And so, as you think about you all helping us with our marketing, et cetera, I want to ensure that you all know that part about us, that it is truly a part of our DNA as an organization and as a business.
Got it. Thank you for articulating that. Mr. Jackson, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the quick turnaround. We will certainly be in touch. Again, thank you for your time, and we're excited to work with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Likewise, looking forward to it. Appreciate you both. Take care.
You too. All right. I just want to see if we're able to record that.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I think I saw something. Recording unavailable. Okay, perfect. He was
Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah, we got this going.